or how strong they are. That's the type of dance I saw. So I would ride in the dance, they would walk around each other, then they would grab each other and then start dancing. You know, so I would be specific with moves, and I was just, with pure luck, trying to hoping that that these guys would understand it. But I just saw it and wrote how it is.
I think typically where you would get a line where the writer would say, here's your line, he would say, here's the emotion that I want to see, here's the expression I want to see, and here's something of the bodies to do this. And we would have to then choreograph a dance move that would flow into that posture, facial expression, everything, and then flow out of it, and get the camera angle correct and everything else. So it was much more difficult, I think, than just a typical choreography, maybe similar to stage choreography. However, there was so much emotion because it wasn't just about how wonderful of a dance you could do and utilizing the skills of you know, as we dance. It was about to express whatever that storyline was saying. That was more important than the dance move, and yet we wanted to make it exciting, so we had to throw in the dance moves that would actually express that emotion that he was giving us. So he would lay on the floor on the dance floor and he'd right. Oh, that was it, I like that. Can you do that again? We're like, what do we do? Because we would just dance for him and he would pick out different things that we would do that he would really, really like. And so he said, can you do that? Can you switch that? Can you do that? So that's what we do.
There were many changes from the original script. In the original script, it was much more prerogative. It was much more mature. But like they said, it was much better if we toned it down a little bit. Because in my mind, when we were first casting it, it was like 25-year-olds. Because in the original setting, it was like a club scene. It was a club scene for like a young adults, and it was just a sexy dance, I guess, and it was just involved in dancing around. The first dance was basically the relationship between the first couple, how their love was more of a lust. That's all it was, a business and a lust. They had no love for each other. They just used the business and their lust for one another. And the second love, which was when, of course, the main character they had enough of it, left her because there was basically nothing there, and found her, and it was much more of a love story. That's when the love story like really hits, and it was much more of a softer love and all that. And then when they all meet again, it's a fight. It's basically the third dance is a fight because the ex basically wants him back, and the present wife basically is fighting for him. So the third dance is a fight. The first dance is all lust. The second dance is all love, and the third dance is basically to prove your love. Is who's going to win. This is a fight for love. But you know.
The three act.
I definitely wrote them as a 3-act form, but more of an action sequence, basically.
All action.
Yeah, basically. That's basically what it was. Without the dance, but just action, and then we got into really the dance style and started breaking it down.
What made you decide to do 2 women and a man as opposed to 1 man and 2 women?
There's another movie.
2 men and 1 woman.
I bet.
There's 2 men and a baby. Let's say 2 men and a woman.
Yeah. Well, of course, I am a man. I guess it's in my
you wanted
mentality.
more women in the film.
But because when I first thought of it, the first idea, the first blimp of it was just like I said before, a music video, and it really was between a guy and a girl. And the girl in that story, in that idea, was much more powerful. She was much more powerful as a woman, that she would lead the dance. And this guy who barely knew her had to prove himself to her, because she's like the queen of the crop. She's the queen of the dance, basically, and this guy had to dance with her to prove that he is worthy of her. So she would actually lead the dance, and he would actually try to lead too. So that would have a fight, and then at the end, he basically leads. But so it started with that idea, and then I came about, so what do I do if I want to make it longer? So if I add another guy in there, it wouldn't make any sense, because you have this one woman who is challenging this one guy, who I'm guessing they fall in love, or they have a relationship. Another guy won't really do that for this story. So I needed the guy, because at the end of that first story, the guy wins and proves himself, and the other woman basically accepts him as worthy to dance with. So, but when I was developing the story, I had the idea that they weren't really in love. They just kept fighting and fighting and fighting, to where, because the way she is, she's like an opera star basically. She was so into herself, she forgot about him. So he leaves. And then I thought about, well, what happens then? So he probably meets another girl, and then they fall in love, and it's a true love, because she's not really into herself. She's more softer and more about love and more about equality. So he falls in love with her, and then he goes back home. He sees her. The old wife is jealous. They go back and they have a fight. So that's why it happened together. It just fell right into place, where the guy, the woman would challenge the guy accepts the challenge, the guy leaves because he can't handle her anymore, finds another love, comes back to basically tell her it's over for good.